First ball of the season.
So Keen, one of the recruits here for Diamond Creek, starting us off here at the commentary end. One of 3 recruits, I believe, in this selected side, or maybe only just a couple there.
First ball of the season and legal.
That's about all we can say, isn't it?
2 slips, gully, point, cover, short cover. Mid off, mid on, and square leg. So 7-2, 4 attacking fielders, no one in the deep. A pretty standard field for the start of a one-day game.
Maybe a little bit offside centric, that's maybe why he's pushing a little bit wide.
Ooh, play and a miss.
Really important these early season games. For those who haven't kept a close eye on the fixture there, you have 6 games of your season done by December 1. So half your games are over in the first couple of months, so really important to get off to a good start.
One of obviously the difficulties of Mungrook is when you've got thick grass in the infield, you can play some great drives and the grass just does all the fielding for the fielding team and you can't actually break the infield. So that's obviously one of the worries when Mungrook is at full display, when the grass is very rich and green. It just becomes, driving just becomes impossible and you have to rely on behind square shots. End of the over.
It's none for 1.
So, the second over from the Elizabeth Street end is Jackson Elzink, right arm fast medium.
Elzink, one of those players who did their apprenticeship in the lower grades there, played a bit of that sort of GH grade level there, found his craft, developed nicely, and now has earned his spot in the second 11 side. So he's a good example for the younger guys coming through who may be playing a bit lower than what they think they should. Just stick at it and you'll be able to play in the higher grades.
You felt that Diamond Creek's promotion system really is well structured, fair?
It's actually getting better each year there, and bringing in guys like Dean from outside the club helps with that as well there, but what they are saying to do better than ever, as we see Ellison come in, what they're doing better than ever there is that they are starting to get rewards for the guys who are performing well in the lower grades there, those who are going to training and doing those right things there, performing in match day. They are definitely rewarding and better than ever there, so it wasn't necessarily that way, but certainly getting a lot better.
Wow, a half volley outside the off stump, playing some sort of cover drive, getting a thick outside edge. A sign of aggression, but it was a bit short of a length, short of the half volley length that you'd like to smother the ball with.
Definitely playing to his strengths as well. The fact that Diamond Creek definitely have a field to encourage the drive, and he's still going for it, makes me think the Macleod do know they need to get maybe a little bit of a better score than they have in previous years here. So it's good intent, it's good positivity, we'll see if it pays off. So with 2 overs done here at Coventry, it's done for 3.
So, the third over of the game, second one from the Nillumbik end.
Keating has a very similar feel to what he had in his first over.
So last season you hypothesised that in the F2 grade, where you had 2 Diamond Creek teams, that one would get promoted for winning the premiership, the other one would get demoted for getting the wooden spoon. Has that come about?
Well, look, it has, and I think it's going to suit Diamond Creek wonderfully well there. One of the things that you want from each of your levels, if you have, well, any more than 5 teams, is you still want that significant jump. So you want it to be worthwhile going up a grade or down a grade. Let's watch Ken come in first. So what you don't want is you don't want a situation like Diamond Creek had, where there was no benefit of being promoted from the 4th to the 3rds, because at the end of the day, you're playing in the same division, playing against the same opposition, so you don't really get the strength over your opposition about someone new, someone you haven't seen before there. So I think it will suit him well, having him in different grades.
So there's been a few deliveries where the batsman has not played the ball properly for one reason or another, and he seems a bit rushed. He's playing the shots a bit late.
Keating's reasonably quick though, so a bit of it will have to do with the bowler, so credit where it's due.
And another one. So he's been hit on the pads 3 times, and he played and missed outside the off stump once. Four runs. Wow. Now that is a clear sign of how Coventry Oval's a little faster than normal.
That's 3 played. Macleod none for 7.
4th over of the match.
Great, something to come in slowly here at Coventry Oval. We'll hopefully see a few more today. One of the things that will increase the crowd today is the fact that the lower grades aren't playing today, just 8E.
A nice quick run there. Yes, around the ground we are seeing a few people, particularly in the shady area on the wing, the Nillumbik Park wing there.
Should be a couple here, so it goes towards the boundary, and so we'll be half well inside.
Although technically in the football it would be called the goals. So
don't confuse people here.
Yes, but there they are, watching the game. Now Jackson Elzink is obviously quite tall, and he releases the ball very high with a very straight arm, so you'd expect him to get a lot of extra bounce out of the pitch.
Exactly right, it's one of his features.
Wow. Another terrific boundary. That one was even better than the last one. Slapping up and over drive shot.
Just pure power, wasn't it? There wasn't necessarily a lot of timing there or hitting through the line. It was across the line a little bit, but the power was there, and that's what got well over the infield. Should be 3. We'll see if they turn. They will come.
Really excellent running.
So we've played 4 here at Coventry. Macleod, none for 17.
So the 5th over of the match. That's obviously one of the unfortunate things about cricket, is that everyone gets to play in the lower grades, so that means there's no one going to be watching the game because they're all playing. In the football, very few people play, so more people would watch.
Exactly, and the fact they're all at the same ground as well playing also helps with the crowd tendencies.
Ooh! Now that one darted in, short of a length outside the off stump, and a bit of a in cutter, and it hit him around the thigh pad. He's getting a lot of movement, particularly into the right-hander.
Definitely has straightened up a lot more since that first over. We saw a couple of ones that probably should have been wide and weren't called. He's definitely straightened up a lot more, and I think this is where he's going to be the most dangerous there. In fact, he can get one over the halt line or even go away a little bit. There's a chance of an edge switch, a couple of slips. So with Ken coming into his 3rd, do you have thoughts behind a spell length here? Because my initial thoughts are he's probably going to be needed later on in the day. Would you get him to 5, or would it be a case of 6? Do you have a number in mind?
That's a good question. As a general rule, games do not normally last the 80 overs. Generally, batsmen do something foolish and throw their wickets away earlier. So you always don't assume that the game will go for the full 40 overs. You assume that you'll bowl out the team faster than that. I would be in favour of bowling the overs earlier than later. Now that's just a general tendency, that's no iron law.
So that's our first mate of the summer. Macleod's still none for 17.
Some people watching from inside the car, and some people watching next to the nets. This is the 6th over of the match.
Little bit of McDonald there at a backward point. He's one that's probably due for a big summer there. He's been on the fringes of some big scores. When he ever gets put down to 3rds, he normally makes runs, and 2nds, he hasn't quite found it. I think he's going to have a big summer this one.
And of course I forgot to mention that Diamond Creek in their performance of the 2020 competition.
Yep, absolutely significant, the fact that they were champions of that. They are... One of the advantages they've got there probably playing here is the fact that it helps them serve well again in smaller grounds.
Okay, so went for the charge and popped it up, and the ball did not get to the boundary. It sort of clogged into the ground.
Right. Just to finish up on a point, you find most sides playing here panic a little bit in the 2020s because they see the scoreboard and it doesn't quite fit what they see as a good 2020 score. So I think that does suit Diamond Creek, and we'll get in the summer.
And this time Diamond Creek will have 2 home games and 1 away game.
Hopefully Channel 8 can find a way down there for those ones.
We won't be going to St Andrews for the away game, that's for sure. Ooh.
So for those who are interested, Diamond Creek hosts Hurstbridge on October 23rd and also Lower Eltham on November 27th. So that's the 2 home games they play here. So we've played 6 here at Coventry, the Roos, and none for 19. We chase there, but one of the recruits, Al Brown. He, along with Keenan there, are the 2 that have come in from other clubs to play their first game today.
Another excellent shot from the batsman. They're getting reward for their shots.
Like I mentioned before, good running between the wickets is helping set that up as well.
Ooh, that was another in-cutter.
With their score currently on 22, you would have thought at least, say, 4 of those have been through good running there. The fact they've turned the 1s into 2s and 2s into 3s there. You never know, it could play a part there if it comes to a tight run chase.
Well, the first wicket has fallen through an act of aggression from the batsman, trying to play another expansive up and under shot, straight drive, but just did not get it right and popped it up. So the aggression of Macleod rather than the bowling of Diamond Creek has brought about the first wicket.
Perhaps a little bit unnecessary when you think about how well they were travelling there, the fact that Keenan's into his 4th, and you're about to see the change bowls there very shortly. You would have thought maybe hold off just a little bit. You can keep the scoreboard ticking over still. The fact they've got 2 on the leg side gives you that chance, but maybe hold off on those boundary hitting shots until the change bowls and then put the pressure on them. So, big moment there for the Demons. They needed that one, that's for sure.
Fairly comfortable taking the catch.
Yeah, nothing in doubt there. Mitchell's Inc. there under that one and holding quite comfortably.
With those types of shots, you do need a second or so to see where the ball is, because a straight drive shot can be anywhere from wide mid-off to wide mid-on, and so you need to just figure out that the ball is actually heading towards you and then get into position.
It should get to the boundary there. Not the fanciest way to score a boundary in cricket. Yes, he has got there. A little bit streaky, but I think we've got an idea of the intent there from our opening partner there. The fact that he has lost his right-hand man. He's still going for it, so perhaps that'll just be his intent the whole way through. No matter how long he bats, it's going to be with aggression. Seven off at Anna wicket, so a big over for both teams. 1 for 26.
So the new batsman marking the crease. There's one slip, gully, point, cover, shortish extra cover, mid-off, mid-on, forward square leg, and then backward square leg.
This does feel a lot better if I feel. Because what 7-2 does is it certainly forces the bowler to be too far outside off. And it prompts two things. One is those hoiks that we've seen so far through a vacant mid-wicket and cow corner there, and there's next to no risk for the batsman. And what it also does is forces the bowler to change his game, which you normally train to find that good length on that 4th or 5th stump line. And you have to change it to be a lot wider, say a 7th stump line. And that's a really good example of that. That one, probably that 4.5 stump. And that's where he wants to be able to think. That's where he bowls his best. But if you're forced to be wider, certainly you throw out your game and you throw out your strengths.
The ball skidded on the pitch there.
Ball taken there by a man who's probably also due for a good summer there in Josh Merritt. His keeping's improved, but he hasn't quite come along there. But that'll be something he can keep developing there as he gets older and stronger. His batting will come, so just got to be patient. We can always start seeing the advantages to this field, like we mentioned before there. We've played 8 here, it's still 1 for 26.
So the 9th over.
Now, of course, big news over the offset is the fact we've got one of our sponsors re-signing up, 5-star wall removalists, so we'll get them in amongst them for the final 5 overs. I heard you got your wall removed through them over the summer.
Indeed.
Keeps it to 2 there, Brown.
Yes, I decided to convert the study and the lounge room into just a large den, which meant removing the middle wall. And so I called on my good friends at the 5-star wall removalists, and they did it, and it was a superb decision. The new den is absolutely magnificent.
Great to hear. Should be 3 with a long boundary there, and they have got it. We've already moved on to 25 here, so you can tell with the slightly quicker ground here for this October match, you can start getting the balls close to the boundary, getting, of course, your 4s and your 3s. It's halfway towards a half century, we're not even close to the 10 over mark yet.
Indeed. Generally, on Coventry, you'd be happy at going 2 runs and over by the first 10 overs. This is much more than that. If you're going at 2 runs and over by the first 10 overs, then 3 runs and over by the 30th over mark, and 2.5 by the 20th over mark, then you're looking at a 120, 130, 140 score by the end. But this is much higher than that. But of course, the most important quality of a batsman is the ability to keep concentrating, keep batting for not just a good 10 minutes, not good 20 minutes, but a good hour.
We've played 9 here, the Roos 1 for 31.
So, the final over before the first 10.
Filled held there by Wells there at short cover. He's a man who's going to play a big role with both bat and ball later this afternoon there, and could again force his way into the senior side depending on how they're travelling there. Of course, their round 1 matches at Rosanna today there, so if they don't perform, Dale's right there if he can get the job done.
And of course, we haven't mentioned one of the most significant pieces of news, which is that Mungrook Oval will be getting a pavilion at some time in the future.
Yeah, it's going to be big for Diamond Creek there, and even for opposition sides. Currently when you go there, the fact that you don't have a pavilion, you just have to get changed in the scorers area, it's not fantastic.
It's just 2 sheds. It's hardly becoming of a second ground.
The fact that Diamond Creek's third ground has a pavilion, bar, and all those facilities. In fact, the second ground doesn't. It didn't add it up there, and the fact that the women's footy team also didn't have one. So it's a big step up and well overdue there for the clubs. They're going to have it a bit near the commentary box, actually, I'm pretty sure, if I remember it right.
Yes, it's going to be on the opposite end where the sheds are, near the childcare centre, near the big grassy hill, not far from the Lawn Bowls car park.
This could be at least 2. Hasn't necessarily travelled deep, but the fact there was no one near that square leg spot for the moment, and they will comfortably get through. Moves on to 28 now. 28 for 34, so playing a big role. First 10 belong to Macleod. It's 1 for 34.